Hey, it's May 7th. This is Todd Ault with Risk On. My friend Jason Bartholomew in the house. One of the greatest handicappers for baseball ever. That's a forward-looking disclosure, but I think it might be true. Last night we played a lot of poker together at the M, and wow, was that fun. This is Friday, May 7th. For those of you who are listening to this on KEIB 1150 Los Angeles, Orange County, and on iHeartRadio app, the Patriot Network, it's 1 p.m. on Sunday. We appreciate you joining us. Skyla's in the house. Skyla?
Hello, hello.
Can you give her some
Happy
applause
Friday.
here? Come on, we got to be ready. We got to be
guest
ready.
star
What do we got? What do we got?
Got to applause.
I don't have it.
You don't have applause?
I'm looking.
Wow.
There it is.
All right. Skyla's in the house. We got Trigger. Let's go over there to Trigger. Can
Guest
you see
star.
Trigger? That's our dog, Trigger. He was on loan to Andrea and Jason, and now he's returning home to his rightful home where he probably despises me because I'm a disciplinarian.
The rightful queen. Hey, where's Lucky?
I don't know.
Probably under your feet.
I don't see her.
Uh-oh. No Lucky. Hey,
Lucky's gone.
market's about to close in a few minutes. We got a little bit of an intro here. What time is it right now? Is it closed?
It is closed right now.
Hey, the market just closed. Let's go to the numbers real quickly, Jason.
Refresh.
And give everyone numbers for today. The Dow and the S&P, the NASDAQ.
We got it all.
Up today. The VIX was lower. Wow, the VIX is really low. Wow. The VIX is 1683, down 1.56 or 8.48%. Fear is not there. People are not fearful like I thought they would be.
I know.
Wow.
But what's driving this?
Let's cover the market. Liquidity.
34,776 for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Good for a 227-point gain. The NASDAQ also in the green, 13,752. Good for 119 to the good. And the S&P was 4,232. I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe that is another all-time high. I might be wrong, but it's up 31 points. Hey, let's talk about the precious metal
Dow
sector.
just posted 200 points, another record for investors. They look past that big jobs report, which was a huge miss. Just for full disclosure, we are short the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the diamonds. We are short the triple Qs. We are short the S&P. That is an all-time high, and we got short the S&P today on that spike. It's not that we're against the market or we think the market is bad. We just think the market is due for a pullback, and we are hedging out our positions.
I think that there's a good indicator here what's happening in the precious metals market. The gold has been on a run. It's actually up another $18 today, $18.33. Silver also $27.56, good for a 8-cent gain. And copper's at an all-time high, $4.74 per pound. Oil is $64.84 a barrel. Did we look at crypto yet?
Hey, corn's still ripping. Thanks to Roland for that pick at $20. Corn is now $22.91 and a ripping. Corn higher, 1.37%.
Yeah.
You got to think that this is going to catch up. You guys, prices are higher everywhere. I think there's a disconnect. And what's funny is we're going to talk later on about the disconnect that I think the Federal Reserve has. And I'm really one of those people who don't like to fight the Fed. It's a bad thing to fight the Fed. But the question is this transitory or is it real? We'll talk about that later on in the show. Any other stocks or things or industries you want to cover?
Well, Bitcoin's 57.9 and Ethereum is 35.27.
Hey, those of you in Orange County, I want to cover the Angels. They seem to be falling apart. What's going on there?
Their bullpen's terrible.
Yeah, they got to be winning some games. They are not winning, and they got rid of Albert Pujols.
That's a sad
Do you
story.
think he's going to end up somewhere?
Somebody will pick him up.
Do they have to get his contract, or can they just get him as a free agent now?
They outrighted him. They gave him his release, so he's free to
Renegotiate.
Yeah,
right?
well, he gets his it depends on what his contract says, but most likely that's a buyout, and then he's free to sign with another team. Hey, Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio. We've been talking about that every day. It's now 16.44. It takes 16.5 Ethereum to equal 1 Bitcoin. That's the lowest I've seen it.
Hey, 25,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe too. Risk On is the name. RISKON. They spell that right?
That's
Yeah.
it.
Good, because I'm not a good speller. Never been a good speller. Don't have to be a good speller to do what I do. Just trade and market, make investments, right? Whatever. So go to YouTube. There's 25,000 people watching us around the world. I don't know why they like the show. I might have paid them to sign up. Just kidding. But you can subscribe to Risk On or go to Todd Ault, Toddault, if you're on the radio. Go to YouTube and you can subscribe there. You can find all of our social media at toddault.com. And I am the executive chairman of Alt Global, publicly traded on the New York American. Skyla, what's up?
What's up?
You got that joke yet?
I don't have the joke yet.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay.
At least you're honest, just like your aunt. You're
I mean,
an
I
honest.
have the one I told you yesterday.
What did we tell the whole audience that
no,
one?
I don't think so.
That would be terrible if you
No,
repeated jokes.
I didn't. Okay, so 2 pickles fall out of a jar onto the floor. And what did one pickle say to the other pickle? Deal with it.
Nice. Hold on, you got to go.
I
Hold on. Wait.
don't think I said that
See,
one.
we gotta do that, man. We gotta learn how to use this.
I
We need
know.
the-
Oh, we missed out.
We had the applause.
Where's it at? Where's it at? You
Middle,
moved everything
middle,
around.
middle.
Where? Oh. No, that's not it. It's a dun dun. Dun dun.
Sitcom laughter.
No, it's not that one. It's
Definitely not the
that one.
dog.
No, there's a dun dun. There's like a.
Yeah,
dog,
you did it last
This
time.
one. Okay, do it again.
Oh, there it is.
What did the one? What? Tell me again. The pickle
So
joke.
2 pickles fall out of a jar onto the floor. What did one pickle say to the other pickle? Deal with it.
Nice.
all right, there we
That's
go.
what they call a dad joke.
Yes, I tell
That's okay.
dad jokes.
Hey, we're into the next segment. We're going to get started right away on some stocks. We had a rip-roaring day, for full disclosure.
Did we
Let's
ever?
go through this rip-roaring day.
I mean,
wow.
it-
By the way, we like steel a lot.
We like copper. We like steel. We like concrete. We like commodities.
SSNT, a 13D we filed, we're long that. That was up today. POWW, up today. That's the ammo munitions. I can never say that right. They make bullets. They own gunbrokers.com. That was up a little bit today. Torch, TRCH. Jason, let's cover it. It's your favorite stock.
Torchlight came out with news talking about the deadlines for the proxy for the vote and also the deadline for the special dividend that's going to be awarded to shareholders at the ex-dividend date that will be to be determined, but it will be soon, within the next 30 days, in my opinion. So I had news today, and it looks like we're at 214 at the closing bell. It was good enough for a 10.88% gain. So the reverse takeover is on Torchlight.
The vote
and-
is the 11th, right?
yeah,
June 11th?
The vote is actually, let's see. They just released news about an hour ago. It looks like the date, June 11th, will be the shareholder meeting. The record date of stockholders entitled to vote is May 5th, which was just a couple
It's already
days
passed.
ago.
We get the vote.
Yep, we get to vote.
Right.
So everybody's excited. You can follow both CEOs on Twitter if you do a little bit of research. They're on there.
CHRA earnings are on the 11th. By the way, Torch's earnings are on the 10th.
Yeah.
Earnings on the 11th on CARH. We are long, for full disclosure. That stock was up today. Peloton. Now, we were short Peloton.
It's an interesting one.
And you can see there we made about 15 grand short.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a big short. I didn't put on one because, this could rip in your face,
Yeah.
right? But I did write some puts, the 80 puts. I covered them because it closed higher. But we made money on Peloton. We were long overnight. CLSK, Sparky, Clean Spark, for
Yep.
sure. U.S. Concrete, USCR, we were long that. We bought that, and that was up 26 grand for us
We had a
today.
nice run on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Full position still.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to talk about that one because we haven't reported it yet.
Show us the losers.
BBIG was up for us today. MDRR was up for us today. The preferred DSS. The triple Q short was up. The triple Qs was up based on where we bought it. The SPYs were up. And the losers, what did we lose money in today? INKX, the 13D filing, pulled back a little bit. The Diamond short was down 18,000. Rocket Mortgage continues to take away from our portfolio, down
know.
another 13,000. I got long Jessica Alba's Honest Company.
Yeah.
And she honestly didn't make me money today, down 8 grand. We are long a lot of this URG or uranium stock. You want to talk about that real quick?
URG, they just got approved for permitting, and that basically here's the PR. UR Energy's Shirley Basin in situ uranium project receives all major permits, effectively doubling licensed and permit production capacity of the company. Obviously, uranium is in the wheelhouse for this administration, looking for alternative energy sources. So it is definitely in play. They have The state of Wyoming and the EPA have completed their respective reviews of the Shirley Basin, and they were granted the permits to mine. So there we go.
Hey, an important disclosure right now. Up next for us, Donald Trump will be on. We're going to host Donald Trump. We're interviewing him live.
You are fake news. You are fake news.
Not true, actually.
Okay.
All right. There you go. There you go. That was funny. There is a... when are you guys going to say we? Is that you personally or DPW? DPW is the symbol for Alt Global Holdings. Is that interesting? Is that you or DPW?
Well,
I want you to understand.
He's talking about the trades.
Is
Yeah,
that
what they're asking
live
is
or is it Memorex?
They're asking if it's DPW.
I'm
money.
aware. I'm not an idiot. I
Well, you
wasn't
weren't
born
answering
last
the
night.
question.
I got it.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I don't know, man.
What are you thinking?
Just kidding.
What are you thinking?
Hey, let's go right to the stocks. If you're on the radio and you're listening to us, that probably was a little loud. I'd turn down.
look at that
radio.
cement mixer.
This
US
is a
concrete.
cement US. If you were looking at the radio, you'd see this thing open around $55, pull back to 53.5, spike back up to 55.5, go back down to 53.75, and build its way to closing at 57.30. Wow! All I gotta say is I put orders at 57 in to sell it, thinking you'd be upset if we sold it, so there'd be no chance it'd get to 57, and the whole thing got sold at 57. I mean, literally went higher than 57. That's U.S. Concrete, USCR. Why did we go long that yesterday? I want to talk about why we went that long. We went long because it had fallen back around, what, $12 or $15, right?
It went down 20%.
Right. And Jason listened to the conference call, and effectively, because of the storms in Texas, there were 11 days where they were not open. And we're big believers in infrastructure right now. We wanted to buy that. It's thin. We bought it on a pullback. But Jason, if we made 30,000 on today, close
Yeah.
to 30,000, why did we sell it?
I don't know, but they missed earnings by a penny, and people flipped out.
And sent it down $22.
And then you listen to the conference call and get the reasoning behind it. I'm like, wow, this is a total overreaction.
But why did we sell it?
I wasn't aware that we sold it.
I can tell you why we sold it.
I didn't know we sold it.
Because we scalped it.
That's fine.
Right, we swung. It was a swing trade from one day to the next. That's why we did it. That doesn't mean that U.S. Concrete couldn't go higher.
Yeah.
But I think our bias right now is to take what we can get.
There's
right?
nothing wrong with taking a nice profit over
Sure,
a swing trade
sure.
for a day. Hey, Marshall Wilkinson. Hey, buddy. Nice to see you
Marshall
on.
Wilkinson in the house. Risk on listening to you on guys on Poolside. Best show. The best guy around. One of the nicest guys. One of the most honest guys is that guy. I always tell people to subscribe to Marshall Wilkinson. Listen to his commentary. He only does one-on-one coaching, and he charges a ton of money for it. It's not actually a lot of money, but relative to a one-on-one coach, maybe $5,000 or $10,000, whatever. But maybe that's not a lot of money because of what the value you get from him.
Right.
But what's interesting is if you go to his Instagram, he actually gives you a lot for free.
He does.
He's really great. I heard you were live with him the
Dude,
other
he
day.
goes live like all the time, and it's amazing nutrients in there. Like I was
Yeah,
just,
he's really smart. Dude, he's really, really smart.
I was kicking it with him. There's a couple guys that were GCs in New York talking about commercial stuff. He was giving him all kinds of freebies. Like, I mean, the guy just kept trying. So the guy was on there trying to name drop.
We're going to
I
have
don't know.
Marshall Wilkerson on, I think, in 2
Yeah.
weeks. I think he's coming to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
We happen to be going to Arizona next week. We have a conference there. But he's going to be in Las Vegas in studio as our guest. So we're pretty excited about that. Right now he's going, really, Todd, what day did I plan to do that? He did tell me he possibly could be up this week, but we didn't talk about it. But I know that he'll be up soon in the next 2 weeks or so to interview Marshall.
if you
this
get-
guy's done $2 billion worth of construction in New York. He is like a true New Yorker who built buildings, skyscrapers,
Yeah.
worked with unions, busted head. This guy's incredible.
I forgot to ask him if he was part of the building the new Yankee Stadium a few years back. I got to pitch in the old Yankee Stadium. I forgot to share that with him. Marshall, let me know if you were part of that project.
You got
there.
to pitch in the old Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, it was like
Hey,
a college All-American.
Before they
game.
took it down,
Yep.
when I married my wife in 2004, I chartered a helicopter. We flew over the old Yankee Stadium. We
Really?
flew over
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's true. It's really fun.
161st Street, 162nd Street in the Bronx. Yeah, right around there.
Hey, let's go to Ammo Munitions, POWW. For full disclosure, we had an 800,000 share position. We have cut that position back to 500,000 shares. And yes, that 500,000 shares is owned by Alt Global.
Correct.
Yes. I don't think that that's anything we can't disclose.
No.
However, if we can't, we'll make sure we do it properly. Anyways, I'm just kidding around. I know we can disclose it because it's not material. We are long 500,000 on this show. We are transparent. We are long POWW. We've made good money there.
We have. I wouldn't mind buying a little more of this SOS over the weekend. We'll look into that. I'm seeing.
We traded SOS already.
I see Bitcoin.
Oh, SOS.
SOS.
Oh, I thought you were talking about SSY.
Nope.
Sorry about that.
SOS.
So if you're looking at POWW and you home gamers, you're on the radio, you'll see that this has moved in the last year to date from the low from the middle threes, 344, all the way hit close to 961, pulled back, did a deal at 5. We bought a ton of it at 544, and we are still long. They bought gunbroker.com.
Yep.
I know they got to pay for it. They are growing like crazy. I think this thing is consolidating.
Yeah.
So we decided to back off a little bit. We just talk about Torchlight Energy. They're going to have a proxy on June 11th. If you are a shareholder of record on May 5th, you get to vote in this proxy. Mm-hmm. And the stock traded up on that news. For full disclosure, we're long 250,000 shares of Torchlight.
Yep. They're also going to liquidate their oil and gas assets, and they were going to award a special dividend via preferred.
If you go to Naked Brands, NAKD, let's pull that up on the screen. I'm just happy to see that it had a little bit of a rally today. My take on this is NAKD has a ton of cash. They raised a lot of money. We're going to have the CEO on the program next week. We don't know the exact day. I think it's on Tuesday, but because of Australia, we may have to record it. We don't know. We're going to let the Naked Army and everyone who follows this show know about it. So stay tuned, but he's going to be on next week. We're pretty excited about that. This stock up 2.66%, or a little more than a penny. This is a 54-cent stock, and they have a full year to regain that compliance with the NASDAQ to get to $1. So we're good with them right now. We are long this stock. Peloton, if we're getting to Peloton, we talked about the recall yesterday. They recalled their treadmill. I think they call it the treadmill.
Is it? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not
Something.
familiar with it.
Someone died. A kid died.
They got
trapped underneath that. That was probably a pretty horrific death. And doesn't make sense to me how they died, because couldn't you just throw the treadmill off the kid as soon as they got caught up? That's a really terrible situation. If you go left to right, and if you look at this year to date, this stock was about $150, $160. It's 83.
Yeah.
Later on the show, I'm going to walk you through why I'm short, why I added to last night's rally after. If you look at the 1 day, this thing hit about 90 and some change, 91 today. I added to my short. Jason.
What do you...
I added to my short. It closed at 83.81. Jason, I covered a little bit of it at 82.99 because I put that order down there. It just nipped down there right below the 83 level. And I'm a shorter of Peloton. Now, yesterday when I was short of 85, I wrote the 80 calls and I collected some money, $2.
Yeah.
Those expired worthless today. I actually bought them back for 20 cents just to get rid of them.
Got you.
Because that thing rallied to 89, right?
Yeah.
When it rallied to 89, the options were expiring today. What'd those options go to? Buckets.
Yeah.
Right?
But they got a 40% haircut. I mean, you think there's more room here on the downside?
I think it's totally overvalued, but I'm trading it very short term. I'm paying close attention to it.
Yeah.
But my bias is to the short side.
Right.
I think with reopening stocks, these things like Peloton, Zoom, and others, those are kind of dead money. I'm not saying there won't be intraday rallies. I'm not even saying there won't be intra-week rallies. But when I get a thesis, when we look at the portfolio, when we get a thesis on a position, we'll play that thesis out. So I'm biased to the short side, right?
Yeah.
But this is part of an overall portfolio. It's not like I have one stock short.
Right, exactly.
Right. So we mark this thing to the market every day. We look at it. I'm going to let Jason talk about this for you guys at home on the radio. It is Sunday for you, and you get a chance to look at this stock. It's very interesting. Jason, why don't you take it away? This is, I can't even say it.
UR Energy. I mean,
it's just pronounced. Oh, it's not Energy.
Yeah, it's UR Energy.
Uranium
Energy.
Oh, uranium energy.
I mean, we covered this.
Is UR the periodic symbol for uranium?
Yeah. So URG.
They're smarty pants.
If you want to look at this, the 52-week range. Now, this is actually a very political ticker, also, along with stuff like coal, stuff like mines for silver, gold, copper, stuff like that. But the range last 52 weeks, 41 cents to $1.57. Like I said, they just received permitting in the Shirley Basin, and that basically doubles their footprint. Also, a lot of recent analysts have given a target price of $2 or more. They were just initiated by an Alliance Global Partners. $2.
AGP. Yeah.
Yeah, and then also another analyst from H.C. Wainwright. This person, Haiku Ili, I guess is a well-known analyst from H.C. Wainwright, reiterated a buy rating on UR Energy with a target price of $2.10.
Hey, for full disclosure, I was wrong earlier. We are long 305,000 shares, not 250,000 shares.
It's had a nice strong day today, 5.68 million in volume. The average volume for the last 3 months was 3.87, up 7% today to $1.40, $1.41 in the aftermarket. This has our thesis here is uranium's going to be used as part of an overall means to deploy green energy and uranium as a way to power the country. I mean, we saw what happened in Texas. That grid went down. I mean, let's face it, you can't use alternative energy sources, geothermal, wind, solar, to power the entire footprint of America. It's just not possible. So we're still deploying like clean coal.
Is it dangerous to mine uranium?
It is. It's dangerous to mine uranium, but it's also dangerous to make for ammunition. Remember we talked about the the
fuses.
Yeah. So no, not the fuses.
No, that's what those are.
Is that what
right?
they are?
Yeah, those little fuse things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's risk involved, obviously, but the EPA has done their due diligence, done their research, and it looks like they've given it a go-ahead for mainly the Wyoming Shirley Basin site. That's the project that we're talking about, and it looks like they'd look at the aquifer. There's an exemption for the project, so the approvals here will allow them to begin construction of the Shirley Basin project. The Bureau of Land Management final approval of the project. So, so basically everything was culminated at the end of April, and then they issued the approval here. So look for this stock to get a lot of attention, in my opinion, and just keep an eye on it. If you aren't in the stock, you can always just watch it and trade it through us vicariously because we are long, 300,000 plus.
305,000.
Yeah.
URG, which is UR Energy, or the periodic symbol for uranium, right? I always get confused, like in Back to the Future. Well, he had plutonium, right? Which comes from uranium.
Yeah.
Uranium, right? Not. So what's the difference? Do you even know what the difference is?
I don't know the difference.
Hey, Skyla, do you know the difference?
No, I don't.
Somebody in the chat will, though.
Hey, do you know the difference, Josh, in what uranium is versus plutonium?
There's got to be somebody, geologist, somebody in the chat.
I'm looking it up.
Oh, look at Josh. He's on top of it right away.
He's on it, doggone it.
Right on. Nice job.
Oh, Nick already has the answer.
Hi, Todd. You should write a book about your experience on Wall Street and how you got to be successful as you are today. Well, I've had some non-successes too. What I'll tell you is one of the reasons I think I'm successful is I never give up, and I've had a lot of failures. So I admit my failures. I will buy it for 100%. If you like this idea, you think you can do it one day, blink your eyes on camera tomorrow and show proof. I'll apply chat, long live, risk on. Who wrote that?
That's funny.
Wow. Actually, there is a book coming out called Risk On. Oh, wow, look at that. Isn't that interesting?
That's going to be a good read.
Yeah, one of the things that I was involved in before was I bought Jack in the Box a long time ago when they killed some people with E. coli burgers during the E. coli scare 20 plus years ago. I also was a large owner of Taco Cabana, which ultimately sold to private equity. I was the co-founder of Patient Safety Technologies, which sold to Stryker for $120 million. I've had my successes and I've had my failures. I think this person, Armada Trains, what about Mara?
Yeah, Mara
Any
Patton.
thoughts on Mara?
What do you want to know about it?
I got a lot to write about, by the way. Single mom,
Yeah.
no dad till I was 13, adopted.
It's going to
Got
be
a
a
lot to
great...
write. What will really be interesting is what's happening in the next 60 days will determine how much I write.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there you go. Mara, let's see here.
Mara's been ramping up their footprint for ASIC miners for some time now. They've got a lot of miners deployed with Beowulf in their Montana mine data center. Mara is, actually, if I recall correctly, they also have a footprint in Quebec.
They're a big miner, right?
Yeah, they're huge.
No, I guess I'm confused. Mara isn't as big as CleanSpark, or they are as big as CleanSpark?
Right now they're slightly bigger, and Riot also is bigger, but SOS is on their tails, the
Really?
Chinese miner.
Really?
But CleanSpark, here's why CleanSpark is unique. CleanSpark has their main data center in Atlanta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta near
That's
the airport.
CLSK.
CLSK.
For
and-
full disclosure, we traded it today.
Yeah, we traded it today. We've been in and out of that thing
A lot.
They have other businesses. They own a solar company. They have microgrid solutions, which actually they've been deploying in their mining, where they use a solar and they use geothermal, and they also have the ability to store energy, and they use that to power their miners. And this is a cool little story. They just have been purchasing miners too. So they're trying to increase their footprint down in their Atlanta mining facility. They have a really low cost of electricity down there. So pretty
Let's look at
interesting.
year to date on Mara. I would say year to date, the stock is still up $20. It was $11.33 beginning of the year. It is $31.33, so it's still in an uptrend. But it had a pretty big run all the way up to 48. But I mean, this is a big run here, right? 56.56, down about. Let's see here, down about 18.49 last month, and down about 6. I mean, this is a way a proxy for playing Bitcoin, flat out.
Mara's got earnings coming up. They're the streets looking for, I think, 2 cents EPS. We'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Let's cover Barrick Gold, GOLD. Jason, let's talk about how you missed this trade. You were greedy, tried to buy it at a lower price, and missed. I'm just kidding around.
Yeah, that's what
Giving you a
happened.
hard time.
No, that's what happened.
The future gives us $5 Canadian. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Thank you, the future.
Thank you, the future.
I got a little greedy with Barrick Gold. So they're the second largest gold miner in the country.
But look at the
And-
chart today.
Yeah.
Opens at 2410, goes back to 2365, rallies back above 2410. Pardon me. And kind of goes flat. It's up 37 cents today.
Wow, I'm glad we missed our entry. Look at that.
What's up?
Barrick Gold files for a mixed shelf of up to $4 billion.
Oh, there you go.
See, it was
Is
meant to
that
be.
why it's down in the aftermarket? Oh, it's only down a little bit
Yeah.
here.
That
But
just
year to
came
date,
out.
Barrick Gold is still down 70 cents year to date. See that?
Yep.
See that big trough down there, all
Yep.
the way down? So
Well, you got to, gold just went over 1,800 an ounce again, so that's very bullish. But they had net earnings 538 million or 30 cents per share in the first quarter. That was up from 400 million or 22 cents per share in the same quarter a year ago. Also, it looks like they have, 8.6% over total sales from last year. It was quite an earnings surprise, but it all comes down. Here's the thing with mining companies, junior miners. Here's what matters: the all-in costs. So how much it totally costs them per ounce to pull the metal out of the ground. So the lower that you have for costs, the more margin you have to sell your product. For example, First Majestic Silver AG, they have an all-in sustainable cost that's very reasonable on silver. Last time I checked, it was like in the $12 range, which is amazing. Currently, silver being over $27 an ounce. And then the premiums, you can't really find silver for less than $32 an ounce. First Majestic Silver is one of the only miners, ticker AG, that actually sells bullion that they pull out of the ground on their website. Like they have a retail bullion website. Which
Really?
is, really cool. So I try to support them. First Majestic Silver, AG.
you can buy the bullion right from them?
Yeah, they get it out of the ground and then they take it and then they actually make they pour the bars.
It's a bar.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty cool, huh?
That'd be fun. We should do that.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah, for sure. We should get them as a sponsor on the show.
I wouldn't mind
Help people.
having Keith Newmeyer on the show.
We should do that.
Okay.
I would like to do that. Skylar, can you put that on the agenda?
Yeah.
To get him on the show. Maybe Keith Newmeyer we could actually have on Autonomous. We'll do that together. We'll
That would
interview him together.
He's awesome. He's on Kitco. He's more than willing to come out and help out the social media, the YouTube channels. Great guy. I'd love to have him on the show. Keith Newmeyer.
Hey, today we were supposed to have 1 million new jobs.
That didn't work out.
We only had 266,000. Are we talking about Devon Energy?
Oh, DVN.
So what do you make of that happening?
The jobs report? How did
It's
he
pretty ugly.
justify that?
I don't know.
didn't dig into
I don't know how
that.
the market rallied into. Maybe they just think, hey, the economy isn't overheating as expected because of one jobs report. That's possible.
There was an article about the current president trying to justify that.
And unfortunately for me, I accidentally clicked off the story about the Arizona governors. I kind of screwed that up. If we could help me bring that back.
We'll get it.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
There was more bad news. March's original estimate of 916,000 was revised down to 770,000. Marshall Wilkerson, jeez Louise.
Marshall Wilkinson, Naked Army,
Look at him.
$49.99 super chat.
Hey, you know
Man.
what? Another thing about Marshall, this guy has big huevos. I'll tell you why. You know what he did with his portfolio? Back about 6 months ago, he tells me, dude, I'm going long Bitcoin. He sells everything he has.
Right.
Puts it all in Bitcoin below 30,000. This guy is like
Whew.
totally long Bitcoin.
Hey, Marshall,
I'm
right
paying
there.
tuition here.
Marshall,
Look
Armada,
at Marshall.
Armada Trading right there, Marshall. These guys from the UK, these young lads, they're like 21 years
Marshall,
old.
you gotta make sure these guys are Armada Trading. You guys gotta follow Marshall.
Yeah, you guys need to link up.
Look
man.
at this. Look at this. Marshall, get it on. Look at this guy. Wow. Let's go.
Dude, Armada Trading and Marshall.
Wow.
That's a man. These guys are awesome.
Let's talk about the jobs report and go back to the revision because I think this is really important. The original. Wow. Look what they're doing here. The original. There's more bad news. In March, the original estimates were 916,000, were revised down to 770,000. February saw an upward revision to 536 from 438. I think this is a quote here. I think this is much ado about the shortage in labor supply as in about labor demand. Jason Firm said, the economist at Harvard and former Obama administration advisor. If you look at the April numbers, it appears there were about 1.1 unemployed workers for every job opening. I'll tell you,
I disagree.
We're seeing tough. It's hard to find people to hire.
I disagree because what happened is for the working class blue collar segment of the country, you know what happened with the federal government and then the state governments. They disincentivized people to go back to work. These people were making more money just collecting the federal unemployment and the COVID relief package with the state unemployment than they were making at their old job.
If you listen to Tilman Fertitta, he says clear as day, he's having a tough time putting people to work at his place, even though he pays a decent wage. He's saying they're making more, effectively not having to work to get something comparable. I know, Skyla, in your case, you still work, but you filed your taxes the other day and you had some back stuff due, $5,000, right?
I finally did it. Finally.
Look at that.
So we're not going to get a knock on the door here?
Skyla's 20 years old,
And I finally did my taxes.
finally filing her taxes.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Let's switch to Jeff Bezos real quick. We're going to come back. I want to talk about that. What's wrong with me?
I wanted to just touch
Peloton.
We're going to talk
short.
on that, but listen, when you're making $600 from the federal government, free money, which obviously is not free, it comes from the taxpayers, and then you get a portion of unemployment, COVID relief from the state. The aggregate was like $850 per week. You multiply that by 52, you're looking at $40,000 plus, and then you also have the income tax waiver on like a certain amount of that income where you didn't have to count it as income. So what a deal for anyone that was making, $25,000 to $40,000. Why would you want to go back to work unless you had that work ethic, unless it was instilled in you to go back and do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay? Why would you go back to work? You're making $40,000 high on the hog from the federal government. I don't know.
High on the hog.
I just wanted to use that term.
I got
term.
you. Yeah, I got you. Jeff Bezos, could we pull it up on the screen real quick? Those of you on the radio, KEIB Los Angeles, Orange County, 11:50 a.m., and on the iHeartRadio app.
Yo, thanks, Ravi. Excuse me, Todd. I'm sorry. Ravi's checking out. Thank you, Ravi.
He's
Thanks
checking
for
out.
the
He's taking
support,
off.
man. Appreciate it.
Hey, you guys, take care. See you later, Robbie.
Jason, you owe me risk on mailing address. Okay.
Oh yeah, you can get that from.
Yep.
We have a. That's fine.
Yeah.
Bezos sells $2.5 billion of Amazon stock. Now he says every year he sells $1 billion to fund Blue Origin, but signals more sales coming. Why wouldn't you be a seller if you had a gigantic net worth and you could pare that back? $2.5 billion sold. Obviously, he's not going to be the CEO. He's still going to be the chairman, but he still has a gigantic position.
Maybe Mackenzie makes him sell more than.
No, Mackenzie, he's out. Mackenzie has been
joke.
paid. She does have some Amazon stock.
Yeah.
And he gets to vote the stock. But it's going to be interesting to see what Melinda Gates gets because they transferred some stock to her from his Cascade Investments. Now, Cascade Investments had $75 billion worth of Bill Gates' stock that he's been selling off over the years
Right.
for his investment vehicle. That's on top of the foundation money, which is the largest foundation in the world, because Buffett's been giving him some money. But they had a report. She owns more than 5% of FEMSA, Coke FEMSA. So the interesting thing is, what was her total settlement? Now, I read an interesting article about this where they were going to go down to an island. The whole family was going to go. Bill wasn't invited. They were going to release the information. That didn't end up happening. I have read, and listen, I'm not a TMZ guy, but one thing I can say about TMZ is they tend to be pretty accurate.
Yeah, they do.
Scarily accurate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And they're saying everyone's mad at Bill. That Bill did something. Who knows what it is? This is what TMZ's reporting. And but this has been in the making for a while, and apparently her settlement is already done.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. But they didn't disclose it. So what do you got for me? What's up there?
It's an OTC stock that's up 39. What is
Yeah, you
this?
can't
That's
cover that
crazy.
stuff.
I
right?
can't cover that.
Well, yeah, crazy times. So Jeff continues to sell. I saw that.
Wait, there was an article. Didn't I have something pulled
You-
up about Gates?
You did. You want to go right to it?
Yeah, because we're talking about the two,
Let's go to it right now.
the big timers.
So here it is.
Yeah, here we go.
Let's pull it up on the screen here. This is on, I believe, on Fox.
yeah, here we
Yeah,
go.
so we got Melinda Gates' divorce payday nears $2.4 billion after Coca-Cola FEMSA is transferred to her. Gates also giving AutoNation and Canadian National Railways. It's just a percentage of it. I don't think that story is done. Armada, thank you so much.
Making a
a fund. Oh, appreciate
Go
it.
fund me to boost Naked PR team.
Naked PR team.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
for sure. Hey, we're going to have, I'll come to Naked in a second. I'm going to go back to that because that story has yet to play itself out. They have a war chest of capital.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is going to be a very interesting thing to see what Naked Brands does with that money
Yep.
and what they acquire.
Wait, so some of the Naked Army
By the way,
here.
they have a war chest. I mean, literally.
I want to
a ton
know
of
about the Bendon divestiture and the cash on hand. Is that aggregate like 350 million?
I don't know.
It is, right?
I don't know.
Somebody knows
No
more
way
than
I
me.
know that.
I think that's.
But we're going to
probably
ask
accurate.
the CEO when we talk to him next week.
Yeah. I can't even stand looking.
Okay,
at it.
let's do that.
This is for the radio program right here.
Let's do that in the next segment. We'll do that in the last 10 minutes. Coming up, Samantha Bee wants to take your guns.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Far left hosts latest comic to push gun control through corporate platform.
Copper. I'm going to switch to copper real quick. Copper is the new oil. Low inventories could push it to 20,000 per ton. Is that possible?
Yes.
Now, what is it per ton now?
Here's what let's do the math. It's how much is it a pound? Where are we at here? $4.74 times 2,000, right? I'll get a little bit of math here.
2,000.
Boom, 90.
So they think copper could double, right? More
and
than double.
it's been ripping.
It's been on fire.
It was $4, and now it's $4.75.
I guess we're going to be sad selling that Fremont.
We're
Mac
back
brand,
in it.
right?
We're getting back in that.
Freeport Mac brand. I keep calling it Fremont because we are in Vegas on Fremont Street here.
FCX, man. FCX, we made a nice swing trade on that. We sold in the 41s. It's now, do I have it pulled up?
No,
Here,
maybe you
let's look
did
at this
earlier.
thing. Let's look at this thing.
FCX.
My favorite monster. You know, Southern Copper's another good one, too, by the way. Oh, yeah. Look at
Oh,
this.
God.
Look at this $44 stock.
Up $1.90 today.
We sold at 41 and change on Tuesday.
Hey, Kevin Kahn is asking us about some tips to how to pick stocks for swings.
Sure.
Hey, this is a show for entertainment purposes. Neither Jason nor I are licensed brokers. We are not licensed by any federal regulatory agency. We are not investment advisors. We do this for ourselves, the companies we run, and we do this for entertainment purposes. So let's get to it real quickly.
Thank you for the super chat, Richard Ritter. As always, he's coming through again. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Todd.
No, you got to talk about the swing trades. I don't.
Oh, okay. So typically what I would look for in opportunity to find a swing trade is, number one, is the sector hot? What I mean by that is there are a lot of eyes on it. Are the people talking about it on, some of the economic platforms, CNBC, Fox Business, even crazy, more alternative sites, Zero Hedge even, Wall Street Bets, social media footprint of the sector, what's going on there. Also, look at the daily candles. We're looking for reversal on the daily candles. So when you're looking at your charts, you want to see what that looks like, at least 1 or 2 green candles on a reversal. Also the RSI, Relative Strength Index. Want to look at the daily RSI, see where that's at. If it's oversold or overbought, you're looking at the range. Generally speaking, between 25 and 70 is the range. If you have an RSI below 40, you definitely have an opportunity there to look at the swing trade. There's several criteria that you look at, and then you form a thesis based on all those criteria. It's similar to things I do when I'm betting sports, when I'm looking at baseball bets, for example. I'm looking at all these little things, and they assign them a value. And then when you total up the sum of the value where you're trying to make your thesis, you look at it and you say, okay, is this a positive expectation for this bet? If I were to make this bet on this stock, or if I'm going to make this bet on this baseball team with this pitcher, like, is this going to yield me a benefit? And, you know, I could spend a lot of time. It would be easier for me to break this down, like with one-on-one with people, where they can actually see what I have laid out on my laptop, all the tabs that are open that I use as resources every day. But those are a few things you can look at. Papa Gorilla, thank you for the $19.99 super chat.
What about Penny? Penny's up
Quite
there.
a few people gave us super
Wow, you guys are
Penny
amazing.
for the super chat. Oh,
Penny,
wow.
look,
Penny
let's get
Watchful.
naked, she says.
Let's get naked, $10. Hey, we really appreciate that. Going back to the opportunity for swing trades, this can be just talked about just like in baseball betting and sports handicapping. You're looking at several criteria, then you're trying to formulate a thesis. And here's the key, everyone. Here's the key. You're going to try to have to avoid having a bias in the thesis. You're looking for confirmation, but that's oftentimes has bias involved. So I like to discuss things with other well-educated people in my Discord chats, here with Todd, because, you know, these guys have such great experience. So if I'm looking for, like, for example, U.S. Concrete, USCR, we're looking at the earnings report. They missed it by a penny. I listened to the conference call. The CEO and CFO laid out the criteria why they missed because of weather, natural disaster situations. U.S. Concrete sold off 20%. I'm like, there's no way this makes any sense. And for the radio listeners, U.S. Concrete on the 5-day chart, if we look at the 5-day chart, and more in particular, Todd.
Just with a 5-day.
Yeah, please. Okay, here you go. There's where it sold off. If you're on the radio, it was a $65 stock, and then earnings came out, and it just smashed down to it was
like 64, 65, and kind of going sideways a little bit, building a nice little base, rallied back up to 65, 67, 67.50,
Right.
66.
earnings.
And then boom, earnings came out, collapses to 51.30.
Yes.
And you come in and say, hey, they only missed by a penny.
Yeah.
11 days. This thing was strong. But anecdotally, swing trading is hard. You have to pay attention to these factors like what kind of channel of momentum is it in? And so this is why I go to Peloton for a second. The reason why I'm short Peloton is it's in a downtrend. And if you look at things, I'm going to pull it up real quick, and I'm going to make a point here is, listen, you can be wrong here, but this is a statistical game. I can speak that. This chart doesn't really, if you're out watching the radio, you see this thing spike last night on earnings. After they fell hard, they retraced.
Yeah.
But when you look at it and you paid attention to the earnings and they're going to take a hit on that treadmill, and you start thinking about maybe reputational damage a little bit happening there, they can overcome this, but it takes time. But if you look at that 92 retracement, and let's go back to the 5-day, it didn't retrace all the way, right?
Right.
This thing was hanging around $95, $96, $97, didn't retrace all the way.
Right.
And if you go to the 1 month, this thing a month ago was $123, $123, right? So it's already been part of a larger downtrend. Mm-hmm. So I try to tend to channel it and focus on how it's trading down and whether it's going back to those levels and falling back. Mm-hmm. But I'm cautious, but I'm short this thing, right? So stocks generally, when they have bad news, will go down about 3 times faster than they will go up.
Give yourself a little bit more of a thesis here. Pull it out for the entire COVID, because you talked about this more of a stay-at-home.
The 1 year stay-at-home
boom,
stock.
look at this.
Boom.
Okay.
You see this off the bottom at $40.
Yes.
Last year, COVID's before that.
Correct.
Right. It was even lower, and this thing has this massive rally. Look, all the way up to $131 if you're looking at the chart. It goes you on the radio.
You can't go to
From
LA
40.
Fitness.
You can't go
You
anywhere.
can't go to Planet Fitness.
You got so everyone's like, this is the way to play it. This is the way to play it.
Right.
This thing pulls back into the 100 range, then goes back up parabolically to 167, literally, I thought at one point it was 177. It was really high, 167.
That's interesting, because 1 year into the quote unquote pandemic, it reached maybe not all time high, but 1 year highs.
Oh no, that is the all time high.
That is the all time high.
It went public. That is the all time high.
So there you have
So
it.
so then it starts to, if you look at it, it starts making lower highs all throughout the year, and then accelerates down. Now I'm very cautious, because you can get caught back up in a pullback where, okay, instead of being down from $167, it's down to $100.
Right.
But then you put on the fact that they're recalling, maybe momentum shifting a little bit.
For sure.
Then the company starts to get a little more conservative in their product selection. Look what happened last time. We better make sure we don't do that again.
Right.
We can't afford another mistake. Gyms start to reopen.
Correct.
You know, there's a
Also-
lot of money out there, but these are $5,000 bikes,
Massive.
right?
Yeah.
And some of this is fueled by the fact that people are at home and they want to buy something, right?
Yep.
So swing trading, in my opinion, is tough, but I like to swing trade things we know about, right? Or you have gappers.
And let's be clear about swing trading. We got about 10 minutes left, and we're just a little bit more on this swing trading. So when you say, hey, we're going to swing trade it, we're going to swing this ticker. Okay, well, swing trading could mean overnight hold. Swing trading could mean 3 days, could mean a week, could be a month, actually. You could swing swing trade something for 90 days even. So this is something that you want to, it depends on the actual fundamentals of the stock, the current sentiment of the sector. This is very fluid. So this is where I would like to talk to more people on a one-on-one basis, or, to discuss something that's more personal to them, the strategy that they have. Then you can cater it to try to design that thesis based on what they're trying to accomplish.
Sure.
Okay?
Exactly. Wow. Roll it. I know I saw the AMD plays. Soybeans going to hit $100.
Yeah. Soy, wheat, corn.
Listen, we only have 9 minutes left, so I want to get to a couple things. One, we're working on the Risk On conference. We'll let you know about that. We're really getting a lot of ideas behind that. We're looking into hiring agencies that can help us with that. This is definitely something we're excited about. And we're going to make the Risk On conference live here in Vegas, but more importantly, we're gonna telecast it.
Laurent, sorry if I mispronounce your name, says, guys, I thought hard about your conference idea in Vegas. It is genius. I'd suggest to have a representative there from every country that is present in the chat. Hey, man, I'm fired up about
love this idea,
Dude,
for
let's
sure.
do it. Let's make it happen.
Listen, so I want to talk really quickly. I've not covered it all week. I want to cover, I'll keep it under 2 minutes, this transitory idea. So the Fed has boxed himself into a corner. The Federal Reserve is telling the market that inflation is transitory.
Explain that.
Transitory, meaning it's a short-term event. It'll go back to normal. I can tell you everywhere I'm looking across our company, you heard Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger talk about it with what's happening there. They're a bigger indication than we are. They're obviously much bigger than we are. We're not even in their league, right?
Of course.
This transitory idea, they put themselves into a box where they've tried to convincing the market that inflation is transitory. I don't think that that's the case, and that usually would probably have a pretty bad ending. If they have to transition from that position to inflation not being transitory to the fact that we are in inflationary times, I don't know how they make that argument. There's a lot of talk on Wall Street. If you listen to Kramer, he's pretty bullish, but if you listen to a lot of Wall Street analysts, there's the guy from Allianz. He's talking about this transitory idea is really going to be a tough sell as we get into September. So I'm very, very nervous that you're going to start to see some inflationary numbers. They're really coming through with lumber, with steel, with copper, with corn, with soybeans, across the board. The transitory idea is tough. You want to cover some political stuff that's on your mind. Let's get to it right now. We only have 6 minutes left.
We're talking. You're not talking about hyperinflation where things just skyrocket.
I'm not talking about hyperinflation.
Stagflation more.
I'm just talking about basic commodities being more expensive.
Okay.
And you flooded the market with this fiat currency
Correct.
of 40% since basically the last year and a half. Almost
Right.
all of our currency, 40% of total of ever issued in the last year and a half, basically.
You ask yourself, how can silver and gold not be higher? Well, there's a lot of factors into that. We'll get into that next week.
Sure.
So yeah, let's cover some political stuff here. I'm pretty sure I have a few of these tabs
Yeah,
pulled up.
I kind of messed up for you, though. I don't know if it's back up
Oh,
here.
well, one thing I wanted to talk about, Georgia, the governor there, Governor Kemp. Personally, not a fan, really. If you guys followed the election, you'll realize that's why I'm not a fan. No backbone. However, they did approve a bill allowing college athletes to receive pay based on their likedness, I'm sure. So let's think about this real quick. If Michael Jordan went to North Carolina, he wore number 23. If North Carolina approved college athletes to get pay back then, these kids would be buying the 23 jersey from University of North Carolina, the Tar Heels. They wouldn't be buying just a generic jersey. Carmelo Anthony, he wore 15 at Syracuse.
Sure.
If he could get money back then, that's what kids do. They buy the jerseys of the college athletes that they really love.
Right.
LeBron didn't go to school, but 23.
Sure.
Another guy. So that's what they're talking about, I believe. So if you're a stud athlete and you can take advantage of your likeness, you can get a pay from that.
Samantha B wants to take your guns. What's the story here?
I don't know. She's out of her mind.
Huh.
I say come and take it, Samantha. Molon labe, Latin for come and take it. Go ahead. Try it.
Hey, can we go to the headline real quick? Just push that up there.
Try it, Samantha.
Literally, there's a Samantha B wants to take your guns.
We're law-abiding citizens,
I'm
Samantha.
not a fan of hers.
Samantha, we're law-abiding citizens. We go through background checks through the FBI, the ATF. We are very, very responsible with our gun ownership. Now, criminals don't obey laws. So when you say we want to enact new laws, well, they're not enforcing the laws that are currently on the books. So why would you go and you try to create more laws? Criminals will not obey laws. All you're doing...
Let's get to the Maricopa County thing.
Okay, that's fine.
We're running out of
Anyway,
time.
they're prohibiting people to protect themselves and their families. I am totally against that. I love the Second Amendment. Maricopa County, that's in Arizona. Apparently, they're doing an audit there, a forensic audit, and now the DOJ is trying to intervene, trying to say that it's a security risk and that this could be like disenfranchising votes. Well, they're just trying to do a forensic audit to make sure.
Who's trying to do the audit?
The county, Maricopa County, the council there, the GOP, they want to make sure that the vote was accurate. There's nothing wrong with fair and free elections.
Sure.
What are they afraid of?
Interesting.
What are they afraid of?
Talk about transparency. They don't want to be transparent.
Dude, when they have 120% of a county turning out to vote, let's say, for example, Clark County, Nevada, if they have 100% voter turnout, how is that even possible?
Hey, let's get to California, a state that I left after 46 years. I brought my wife and my kids here. California reports its first yearly population decline in its history.
Yeah.
A drop of more than 182,000 people.
Let's dig deeper into this. They saying on paper they lost 182,000 people. I'm saying California is a sanctuary state. I'm saying they're not tracking who's coming into that country. I'm saying they're losing small businesses, tax-paying Americans leaving the state. I'm saying they're replacing the population with illegal citizens. Now, some people say, oh, humans can't be illegal. Okay, well, in terms of law, they're coming across the border illegally. Population replacement in California leads to less tax-paying revenue, leads to destruction in L.A. Look at the tent cities in L.A. California has a problem. Caitlyn Jenner's running for governor in the runoff because of the recall from Gavin Newsom. Let's see what happens. Caitlyn Jenner, let's go.
Yeah. Hey, I think we're going to support her.
Absolutely.
I think that'll be fun.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you be thrilled if she won?
She's
It'd
she's
be
rocking
great,
it, man. Let's go.
Be great.
Love it.
Hey, so California dips 0.46% to just under 39.5 million people from January to January 21. From January 20th to 21. Wow, this is that's big news, right? Among the California's largest cities, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Jose, San Francisco, Long Beach, Anaheim saw their population shrink. Meanwhile, Fresno, Sacramento, Oakland, and Bakersfield gained in residents. California became a state in 1850 on the heels of the gold rush. There you go.
Jeff says, Jeff asked me what I drank today. Dude, let's see if we can get this.
I'm
knee deep in a Rockstar tangerine, mango, guava, strawberry. I highly recommend it.
Hey, stay tuned for next week. We're going to have the Naked Brand CEO on. We're excited about that. We will keep you all informed. You got to text 949-799-1831. Make sure you're on that text. We're going to notify you when we're going to go live. We don't know what exact time yet on Tuesday. We're working on it. Josh and the team, Nick and Brett, are efforting how to do this Australia threesome we got going on here.
Hey, please bear with us. We're in contact with Justin. We're going to make this happen.
We're working on it.
We're working on it for sure.
Scally, excited about the
I'm
weekend?
excited, yeah.
What are you doing this weekend?
I'm flying to California in about 2 hours, and then I'm gonna go.
Armada.
There's another person
Yeah.
moving from California. Who could that be?
My mother.
Your mom's
She's
moving
probably
to Vegas.
watching right now. I'm excited, Mom.
There you go.
Hey, that's right, Rockstar promo, because that's Michael Savage, one of the great Hall of Fame broadcasters, in my opinion. His son started that company, if I recall correctly, in Las Vegas,
wow,
right?
Wow, I thought it was in San Diego.
Maybe it's in San Diego.
Yeah, but wow, what a.
But yeah, Michael Savage.
Hey, thanks for an incredible week. I'm sad we didn't get to Peloton today, but all I can say is I want to be able to cover for everyone. We might do some. One of the things Josh is asking me to do is for me to have videos of what we're doing, kind of walk people through our process. So we're going to work on that. We're trying to add value. Special thanks to Marshall Wilkinson, Armada Trading this
Everyone,
week.
yes.
A lot of people in the chat. I don't want to miss out on Penny. Who else was there today? There was a ton of people.
We had
Ravi,
Rick Ritter.
Rick Ritter.
Yep.
Hey, Rick Ritter, thanks for following me on Facebook. I saw you, buddy. Hey, Marissa, say hello to Marissa. Thank you so much. There's a ton of people I know we're going to miss.
Papa
Dardura,
Gorilla. Thank you, Papa
out
Gorilla.
there. I can assist you with some threesome advice, Dirty Harry. Well, Brett is available. Obviously, you can text Josh.
Mark, there's not a Risk On Telegram channel yet.
We're working on Risk On Telegram. Hey, thanks, everybody. This has been Risk On. It's the 7th of May, 2021. We will see you Monday. Take care, everybody. Special thanks to the Naked Army.
Hey,
really,
thank you.
really, really. Marshall, thank you.